Well, the Warriors are coming off a 125-105 loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Obviously, there's a lot of frustration afterwards. Second consecutive loss. They're third in the past 4 games. But there's some frustration for another reason. The officiating. Draymond Green got ejected. That's his 13th technical. Steve Kerr got a technical. David West got a technical. Melissa, you were in the locker room afterwards. You saw Draymond Green. What did he have to say, if anything, about all that?
Well, Draymond Green didn't talk. He talks after every game, goes onto the podium. He left as soon as the locker room opened. We saw him in the hallway, and one of the reporters said, "Hey, man, are you going to talk?" And he kind of smiled and said, "I'm going to save my money tonight." So that kind of set the tone for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, well, obviously he disagreed with the call. He was in the ear of official Lauren Holtkamp, and that seemed to be a theme. There was this play late in the game. Russell Westbrook literally tripped over his feet, and Kevin Durant was called for a foul. The Oracle Arena, the fans there went crazy when they showed the replay. Joe Lacob tore his jacket off and threw it on the floor. But what did Durant say afterwards about that play?
Kevin Durant was actually more diplomatic about it than I expected him to be. The Warriors, after all, were already down 22 points. He basically said, we didn't lose that game because of that one call. And then he kind of went on to say, it was a misjudgment on her end. So I think he actually put it pretty nicely. It was a ridiculous call. The Twitterverse has exploded. They're calling it one of the worst calls of all time. People are up in arms. I think, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was the loudest Oracle Arena has been this season.
Yeah, that's the loudest, and that's saying something because Steph Curry's usually had some pretty good games. But the last point, Melissa, when you talk with Steve Kerr and Steph Curry, they kind of said the same thing. I mean, Steph was saying it was a rough night, but by and large, they lost because they didn't play well. They weren't going to blame it on the officiating. But I thought Steph Curry brought up a really interesting point of, hey, if in a playoff atmosphere, whether it's against the Thunder or any team, you have to know how to respond to these sort of things properly. So I'll ask the question to you, Melissa, how do they do that in a playoff series when calls aren't going their way, whether it's against the Thunder down the line or another team?
Well, Curry went on to say, we know how to get up and how to have that energy and effort and focus when it really counts. He said all teams slip a little bit. This is, let's put things in perspective a bit. This is the first time this entire season that the Warriors have lost 2 games in a row. He said it's not time to blow up the team or, get really overreact in this situation. And so I think, okay, it's a little bit of slowdown or a hurdle, but obviously the Warriors are the defending champions. They've been to the finals 3 years in a row. It's not time to sound the alarms.